People who grew up rich, when did you realize you were living in a bubble and not like everyone else? I thought every kid had a personal driver until I was 14. Not a parent driving you to school. An actual man named Gerald, who wore a black uniform, held the door open, and called me Master Ethan. I thought Gerald worked for every family. I assumed he just rotated between houses. I found out the truth at a sleepover. Tyler from my soccer team invited me to his house in 6th grade. His mom picked us up in a minivan that had a cracked cup holder and an air freshener shaped like a pine tree. I spent the entire ride waiting for the real car to show up. Like maybe the minivan was temporary, and a Gerald equivalent would be waiting at the house. He wasn't. Tyler's house was maybe a quarter the size of ours. His bedroom had posters taped directly to the wall with actual tape, not frames. He had a bunk bed even though he had no siblings, just because he thought it was cool to sleep on the top. We ate dinner at a kitchen table where his dad was still in his work clothes, loosening his tie, asking Tyler about soccer practice. His mom heated up lasagna from a glass dish and served it on plates that didn't match each other. Nobody served us. We just passed things around. That night we stayed up until 2 a.m. playing video games and eating chips straight from the bag. Tyler's dad knocked on the door at midnight and told us to keep it down, then handed us a box of Pop-Tarts and whispered, "Don't tell your mom," like we were all in on something together. I had never in my life spoken to my father after 7 p.m. Dinner was at 6:30 sharp. By 7, he was in his office, on calls to people in different time zones. I didn't think it was sad. I thought it was just what dads did. The next morning, Tyler's mom made us pancakes and accidentally burned the first batch, and laughed about it. She laughed about burning food. In my house, if the chef made an error, my mother would make a phone call and that person's evening would be ruined. Not because she was cruel, just because that was the standard. I called Gerald to pick me up at noon. Tyler watched the black car pull up from his porch. He didn't say anything weird about it. He just went, "Oh, is that your driver?" And I said yes, and he nodded like it was mildly interesting. The same way you'd react if someone said they had a trampoline. Just a thing some people have. That's when I felt it for the first time. This strange, specific shame that I didn't have a word for yet. On the ride home, Gerald asked if I had a good time. I said yes. He asked what we did. I said we played games and his dad gave us Pop-Tarts at midnight. Gerald smiled at me in the rearview mirror and said, "That sounds like a good dad." I thought about that for weeks. My dad had taken me to Paris for my 10th birthday. We stayed in a suite at a hotel where someone came in each morning to arrange the pillows in a specific decorative way. He bought me a watch that cost more than most cars. I'm not exaggerating. I know that now. At the time, I thought watches just cost that. But Gerald, who drove me everywhere and knew my school schedule by heart, said that sounds like a good dad about a man who snuck his kid Pop-Tarts at midnight. In 8th grade, I finally asked my mom why dad was never around in the evenings. She looked at me like I'd said something deeply naive. "Ethan, do you understand what your father does?" I said not really. She told me he managed capital for families across 4 continents. She said it like I should bow. I said, "Tyler's dad coaches his soccer team." She blinked. "Tyler's family is comfortable, honey. We are in a different category." She said the word comfortable like it was a polite word for something lesser. I stopped talking to her about Tyler after that. The summer before high school, Tyler's family went to a lake house. Not theirs. They rented it for 1 week. He talked about it for the rest of the year. The kayaking, the mosquitoes, the night they played cards on the porch until the power flickered. He told the mosquito story at least 4 times, and it got funnier every time. That same summer, my family went to Monaco. I have a photograph from that trip. I'm standing in front of a yacht in a collared shirt, not smiling, because my mom told me not to squint in the sun. I don't have a single story from that trip. Nothing funny happened. Nothing unexpected happened. It was perfect and completely empty. I have told Tyler's mosquito story twice at parties. It always lands better than Monaco.